Morning dear learners, welcome to teaching learning session. Today we'll start with services marketing, right? MMPM 005 new course code, that is services marketing, right? What is services? I hope you all know what this service is, right? What is service? Service is nothing but an act or performance that one party can offer to the another party in forms of tangible or in essentially it's an intangible and does not result in ownership of anything, right? Its production may or may not be tied to a physical product. That is as per Philip Kotler. So what is services as per Philip Kotler, right? Services is an act or performance, right, that one party can offer to the another party, that an A party can offer to the another party, act or the performance, and that is essentially intangible. Intangible means you cannot touch or you cannot own that services, right? It is in form of intangible and it is essentially intangible, and because why it is intangible, it doesn't result in any ownership of anything, right? You cannot possess that the services, right? You cannot touch those services. The production may or may not be tied to the physical product. It is based on the relationship and values, right? It may be used to market a service or product, right? So what is services marketing? While you are marketing these services for a product or for some intangible thing, that is known as services, right? Like services marketing includes what? Services marketing has intangible benefits, right? In services, what services marketing includes intangible benefits, those benefits which cannot be seen, right? It has no ownership. That is, one party is offering something to other which is intangible in form, that is, they does not possess that any party cannot possess these services, so no ownership. It is inseparable. Services marketing is inseparable because with any of the product you need services, right? It is inseparable. You cannot separate it. It's variable, right? It varies from situation to situation, product to product, time to time, and many other things. Perishability. It is perishable in nature and people involvement is required, right? So this is what the services marketing is, right? So services is an act or performance offered by one party to another that is essentially intangible and does not normally result in ownership of anything. That is, services offered by one party to the another and intangible in nature and does not result in ownership of anything. Its product may or may not tie to the physical product, right? As per Philip Kotler. As per AMA, that is American Marketing Association, services marketing is organizational function and set of processes for identifying or creating communicating and delivering values to the customer and for managing customer relationship in a way that benefits the organization and stakeholder. So what is services marketing actually? Services marketing as per AMA definition, that is an organizational function. There are many functions of the organization and services marketing is one of the functions of the organization, right? This processes includes the creation. You create that, right? You communicate that to the customer and deliver the values to the customer. You creating, that is creating, communicating and delivering a values to the customer. For maintaining, why do we do that? For maintaining the customer relationship, right, in a way that benefits both the organization and the stakeholder or the customer. That is services marketing. Services marketing is what? That is it's an organizational function. This involves the processes like creating, communicating and delivering to the customer why it is required to maintain a relationship with the customer in a way that should be beneficial for both the organization and customer. Right, there are actually characteristics of services marketing. Right, what are the characteristics of services marketing? Right, in our previous slide I showed that it is perishable in nature, changing demand, intangible, inseparable, heterogeneity, and the pricing of the services. Right, what are the characteristics of the services? That is the intangibility in the nature. Right, use of tangible and no stock maintenance, there is no need to maintain the stock, price sensitivity, and value creation process. Right, what are the major reasons for growth of service sector in India? We all know that India is emerging as a service hub, whether it's IT industry or any other industry. Right, we are basically the service hub. Right, in the recent times the service sector is increased in India at very fast pace, specifically after liberalization in 1991. The contribution of service sector is continuously increasing the growth of the economy. It contributes a lot in the growth of the economy. Right, but in India still India is agriculture dominated country. Right, agriculture is main thing which is actually contributes a lot to the economy. Right, but the service sectors are growing not only in the volume but also the sophistication and complexity. Right, so growth industries resulted in combination of several reasons, like why it has growth, because the service sector contributes most to the GDP of India. Right, it contributes the biggest share in the country's GDP, which accounts more than the 50% of the contribution. Service sector, whether it's marine industry, whether it's say IT industry, all these are the service sectors, and there are hospitality industry, all these are the service sectors, and it contributes a lot to the GDP of India. Right, around at approximately 50% has of Indians GDP is contributed by the service sector. The various sectors under the service sector includes the construction sector, as I said, trade sector, whether it's marine or anything, transport, restaurant, hospitality, it includes the hospitality, communication, right, IT sector, insurance, financing, and various other sectors. There are many sectors which comes under this service sector. Right, reasons for growth of service sector: because of increase in the wealth. Right, now people have wealth, they can afford on these things, they can afford to go to the restaurants, movies. Right, they can buy the insurance, and nowadays even it is required. Right, next is free time. Right, people have leisure time. Right, greater life expectancy. Because of the greater life expectancy, it has contributed in the growth of service sector. Right, greater complexity of the product. Right, because the products are nowadays very complex, and we need these services from time to time. Right, that is why this contributed a lot in the growth of service sector. Higher percentage of working women. Right, increase in the complexity of the life and increase in number of new product. Right, all these contributed a lot in the development of the service sector. Characteristics of service sector, that is the intangibility. Services are intangible. What does intangible means? Intangible means you cannot see those services, you cannot feel those services, you cannot touch them, you cannot taste them, you cannot smell them. Right, that is, services are intangible in nature. No one can touch these services, no one can see these services. Right, no one can smell about these services. So these are intangible in nature, and that is evaluation is actually a challenge. Whether how will you evaluate whether the someone has provided you the services or not, or are you happy or satisfied with the services or not? It is evaluation is challenge. For example, whenever you give your vehicle or a car on the services, that is the evaluation of the service is a challenge, right? At times you might feel like when you get your car back, you might be happy, yes, this serviced it well, but say after 2-3 days you might feel like, no, they have not serviced this, right? They have not done that, they didn't do that, right? So the evaluation of services is actually a challenge. Whether to be happy with the services or not happy with the services, it's a challenge, right? Intangibility is used in the marketing to describe inability to assess the value gained from engaging in the activity using the tangible evidence. So it is difficult to assess the value gained from engaging in that activity. That is why it is intangible, whether what the value you have received, or it is difficult to describe the or it is difficult to assess the value, right, by engaging gain from engaging in the activities, right? So this is intangible in nature, right? It draws it inferences from, right, that place plays a very important role, people plays a very important role, equipments, communication materials, symbols and price plays a very important role, right? So it draws it inferences from the place, people, equipment. There are 7 P's in service marketing. There were 5 P. We read about the 5 P's, but in services marketing there are 7 P's. Place, price, promotion, equipments, communication, material, symbols and price plays a very important role in services marketing. That services are, next characteristic is services are inseparable in nature. Inseparable means what? Inseparability means that services are produced and consumed simultaneously, right? It is not, that is, you cannot say that you cannot separate the services from the product. That is, it can be produced and consumed simultaneously. Provides the client interaction is a special feature in service marketing. Inseparability is a key quality of services that is distinct from the goods. A live theater performance, a makeover, right? Or as I said that restaurant, right, provides services, it's a service provider. Hospitality, any hospitality, all hospitality industry is a service provider. So it is inseparable. Inseparable means what? Inseparable means that is, you cannot separate, or you cannot that is in short, that it is consumed and produced simultaneously, right? That is like in parlor, right? They provide these services. A makeover, that they provide these services, it is inseparable, that is produced and consumed simultaneously. You cannot go and check what type of services they are providing, then we will take those services. See, that varies, that because again that this services varies from place to place, person to person. There are many things. Say in makeover industry, right? If you will see someone, what type of makeover they are providing, and when you opt for those services, you might not be happy, or you might be more happy than their services. Like what you have seen might be different from what you get, right? So services again varies, right? So theater performance, right? That is inseparable in nature, that is produced and consumed simultaneously, right? Variability, as I said, it is variable in nature, right? Or heterogeneity, or variability or heterogeneity, right? Services are highly variable, right? The state characteristics are being variable, that is the, as I said, that there is no standardized there is no standardized thing. Like in makeover industry, as I had given the example of a makeover, right? You might have seen someone, right, and you might be happy by seeing the change, right? But you might not be happy with yourself or the type of the services you get, or with your makeover, or you might be more happy, right, than the previous client, right? So it is variable in nature, it is heterogeneous in nature. Like in case of the car servicing, again another example of car servicing, right? It is variable in nature. At times you might be happy, you might not be happy with the same service provider, that it is variable in nature, heterogeneous in nature, right? Same with the another example is when we go to the restaurant, right? We order something and we liked it. For the next time again we plan to go to the same restaurant, we order the same dish, but you might taste different, right? Although the chef would be the same, the place is same, dish is same, price is same, everything is same, but the taste differs. You might like this taste more than the previous one, or vice versa. Then again they are providing the services or the product, right? Again you might be happy or not happy. Or another example could be the services they provide while you visited first their restaurant might be different from this now the services they are providing, right? These are variable in nature. Then perishability, right? Perishability is used in marketing to describe the way in which service capacity cannot be stored for the sales in the futures, right? So services cannot be stored for the future, right? So it is perishable in nature. So perishability, the services perishes, right? So perishes means you cannot store those services whenever you are using. Suppose you have taken a service for your vehicle, right? Your vehicle has been serviced, but again that is perishable. The way you handle your vehicle, that again defines how often you need the services, right? So it is perishable in nature. That doesn't mean once you have serviced your vehicle you don't need it again. It is perishable in nature. The machines, right? Machines needs regular services, right? It is perishable in nature. So services are perishable in nature. With the usage of the product, right, the services you might need again the services. So these characteristics, the services are variable, services are perishable, inseparable and intangible. So services are intangible in nature, right? Means you cannot touch, feel or smell these services, right? Services are inseparable, you cannot separate these services from the product itself, right? Variable, right? Then that this services varies from time to time. The same company, the same person can provide the different sort. There might be minor difference, but difference would be there. The variability is there. Perishability, services are perishable, you cannot store it for the further use, right? Some services firms like banking is a service firm, stockbroking again a service, restaurant, catering, bars, insurance, news and entertainment, healthcare, education, right? Professional consulting and all those things, wholesaling, retailing, all these are the service firms, right? So all these are the services, right? Then the scope of services, right? Scope of services set out precisely what a service a consultant will performing on the project. So the scope of services actually may be prepared for the contractors, where they are carrying out the design work, or for consultants appointment by contractor or design to build the project. So scope of the project varies from project to project. We can classify the services into two major classification: consumer service marketing and the industrial service marketing. Consumer service marketing is when you are providing services to the end consumer or for the product which directly the end consumer uses. That is the consumer services marketing, right? Like restaurant, right? Banking or insurance, right? Or you can say education. All these are the consumer services marketing. Another could be the industrial services marketing. Industrial services marketing is when you are providing these services to the industry, right? That is the industrial services marketing, like IT, right? It provides the software to the industries as per the requirement of the industries, right? Trade, it helps the industry in trading, right? Like steel industry, right? It helps, it provides the product or services to the industry, right? So IT industry, marine industry, all these are industrial services marketing. It provides services to the directly to the industries. Classification of services, right? So we can classify it tangible, intangible, object on the people and object or products, right? People processing services. So services could be the people processing services. Another could be the mental stimulus process servicing, information process servicing, and product processing or product or possession processing services, right? So it could be like intangible and tangible. Tangible services like people processing services could be tangible in nature, right? Like your restaurant or other hospitality, that is the people processing services, right? That is it is tangible in nature. Product or possession processing services, you have purchased some product and then again you need services. Or object or intangible could be the mental stimulus processing and information processing services, right? That is you cannot touch them, right? So these are the intangible services. Object, on the basis of object or product, on the basis of object or product, then we can classify the product or possession processing or information processing, because these are the object or product. We will get either the information or the product, while the people is people processing services or mental stimulus services is people related to the people, right? Everything is related to people, but that they directly impact the people, right? Like education or other services like hospitality or other services, that is people oriented services, right? There are various challenges of services marketing. What are the various challenges of services marketing? Then again, these are the characteristics: intangibility, heterogeneity, perishability, right? These are the characteristics of services marketing. But again, this is a challenge in service marketing too, right? It possesses a challenge like intangibility, lack of ownership, perishability, heterogeneity, right? And interactivity are the challenges in service marketing. Intangibility, because you cannot feel and touch the services, so at times it makes the customers happy, unhappy. It becomes difficult for the customer to decide whether they get the required services or not. So this is a challenge in service marketing to justify that you have provided the better services or the best services. Lack of ownership, because no one owns the services, so this is again a problem, right? Services lack of ownership, even after paying for that, at times consumer feels like we have not received the value for the money. So lack of ownership, they feel like we don't have anything in the position whether we need or not. So lack of ownership is again a problem. Perishability, right? It perishes, right? Because every time after a certain period of time, right, needs services again, then it is perishable in nature. Heterogeneity, because every time you will not get the exactly same type of the services with the same type of a people, even if the same if you are taking the services from the same organization, from the same engineer or the service provider, or the same type of a service, then again there will be a heterogeneity. There will be some difference in the services despite of every other thing is constant. So it is heterogeneity. At times it could be the reason for the unsatisfaction among the customer might feel like that the previous services you have provided me was good, now this time the services are not that good, although there could be the difference, right? Or vice versa could be true, this time you have given me the good services but not the previous one, right? Previous time. Interactivity is again a challenge, right? How to interact, how to convince, that is again a challenge in service marketing, right? Interacting with the customer is again a challenge, right? Then the issues in services marketing. What are the issues in services marketing? That shifting customer priorities and expectations. Always customers' priorities and expectation shifts, right? And as per their priorities and expectation, it is required that the service market should change as per their needs, as per the needs of the customers, right? Contact through multiple channels, right? There are multiple channels, right? And they get the information from the multiple channels, right? And it could be again a challenge for or a issue in this service marketing, right? When you are getting or contact through the multiple channel, that at times the consumer get confused and they feel like that we don't need that. One person was saying something else and another from another place we are getting some different information. Then surprising demographics is again a issue in services marketing, right? Demographics plays an important role, that is the income demographic includes the income, that income plays a very important role in service marketing. Age plays a very important role in services marketing, right? Status plays a very important role. So there are many various demographics which plays a very important role in service marketing, and it possesses a challenge or a issue in services marketing. A greater importance placed on the consumer services and move towards the frequent testing, right? So all these things are the issues in the services marketing, right? How can one assess market service potential? That is, the market opportunity assessment is a process of synthesizing the market research and client data to identify the opportunity for the growth in a specific market or a business area and formulate an actionable strategy to realize the growth, right? How can you assess the market potential, right? It is very important to assess the market potential before entering into that market, right? So the marketing research plays a very important role in that. Through market research you can assess the market potential, and the client data, right, to identify, that is the marketing research and client data helps to identify the growth of specific market and the specific market or opportunities for growth in the specific market, right? So this plays a very important role. So what all one should consider while assessing the opportunities in the market? That is the market size, market growth rate, profitability, competition, product and the consumption type, right? So what is market size? Market size plays a very important role, that is the size of the market. What is the demand for that particular service in the market? Market size means how many people are that require that type of these services, right? That is actually market size, right? At present, what is the demand for a particular type of a services in the market? That is the market size, right? Market growth rate, and if what is the chances of the growth of the market for that particular services, or at what rate or at what pace the market is growing for that particular services. Even if the market size is small, but again the market growth rate is higher, that there is a demand for the for that particular, that there would be demand for that particular type of the services, the demand would be high. Then the profitability, right? If you provide a particular type of the services, how profitable it is. And profitability again depends on the competition, demands, that depends on the demands, that depends on the market size, potential growth, and the competition, that plays a very important role in profitability, right? And then the product or the consumer type is very important, right? What type of a product is it, whether it is for classes or what is for masses, and the type of the customer utilizing the product, or the type of the customer, right, which requires those type of the services, product and the consumer type, right? When you are suppose in case of the insurance again, right, that is the what type of a product you are selling to which type of the consumer, it plays a very important role. So this is these factors should be assessed for assessing the market potential, right, to assess the growth of the market or potential growth of the market, right? Marketing mix. See, we all know the marketing mix, right? That marketing mix is actually a comprehensive part of a comprehensive market plan, right? The term often refers to the classification that begins with the 4 P's, that is the product, price, place and promotion. We read about these 4 P's, that is the marketing mix, right? Place, price, promotion and placement, right? Effective marketing touches a broad range of areas opposed to fixating of one message. There are 7 P's. In marketing there are 4 P's: price, place, that is 4 P's, place, price, promotion and product, price, place and promotion, right? That is how will you, what type of a product are you offering, right? At what price you are offering that product, and from which place they can get that product. And promotion is how will you promote that product, right? While in services marketing there are 7 P's, right? Extra 3 P's. Product is there, price is there, promotion is there, place is there, then packaging, positioning and people. People, positioning and packaging plays a very important role in services marketing. 7 P: place, price, promotion, product, place, price, promotion, right? Then packaging, right? Positioning and people, right? Packaging plays a very important role, positioning and the people plays a very important role. Okay, we'll discuss about these 7 P's later on in detail, right? Services marketing environment. The services marketing environment, actually what is the services marketing environment? Services marketing environment refers to all internal and external factor which directly or indirectly influence the organization decisions related to the marketing activities. Internal factor like control of the which are in control of the organization, and external factors are those which are not in the control of the organization. So services marketing factor, actually the environment is made up of 2 factors, internal factors and external factors. And even in services marketing both type of factors plays a very important role, internal factor and external factor. Internal factor like internal factors are those factors which are inside, which are related to the organization, which are inside, which are in control of the organization. And external factors are those factors which are not in the control of the organizations. Like marketing environment, you can see that there are 2 factors, there are 2 circles. The first is the internal factor and the outer circle shows the external factor. Internal factors like internal organizational environment, that is the, in short, working environment. What type of the working environment is, and that we all know that the performance depends on 3 factors, and first is ability, second is motivation, and third is working environment. And if the working environment is good, positive, then the performance of an individual or team goes up multiple times. So and it is in control, it is in hand of the organization. They can change the working environment at any point of time. So internal working environment plays a very important role. Then the types of the market they are catering or they want to serve. Competition, actually it's an external factor, right? Marketing channel plays a very important role. Marketing channel, that it depends on the company's choice how they want to communicate or how they want to market their services, right? Marketing channel, which channel they want to opt, whether it's, we discussed about the types of the channels, traditional channel and contemporary channels, right? Or a fusion of both, that depends on the company's perspective, right? Then the organizational objectives, right? So working in internal environment includes the organizational objectives. What are the objective of the organization, what the organization wants to achieve, what they want to do, right? And they can change their objective or can modify their objectives as per the requirements. So internal working environment are those environment which are which actually is under the control of the organization and which is related to the organization itself. Working environment, objectives, right? Then the marketing channels, right? And the type of the markets or the segment they want to serve, all these comes under internal environment. External environment which impacts, that is economic factors, right? Economic factors, the global economic factor or national economic factor, it is not in the control of any of the organization. So this economic factors impacts the organization services or any of the organization. If economy is booming, then obviously it helps the businesses in positive way. So economic factor plays a very important role. Political factor plays a very important role, right? Politics of any of the country or any of or global politics plays a very important role in organization. We now you can see the best example of this political factor is the tariff, right? That the US president has implemented certain tariff on certain countries and it has impacted the economy of the whole world, right? And it is impacting the business in positive or negative way. It varies from industry to industry and country to country. So economic factor, that is the recent example. Political factor plays a very important role and it is not in the control of the organization. Then the cultural factor plays an important role, right? Cultural factor, again it's an external marketing environment, right? As per the culture you have to provide the product or the services. If your product or services are not aligned with the culture, people might not like to take or avail your product or services, right? Services. So cultural factor plays a very important role. Then the natural forces or natural calamities plays a very important role and it is an external factor and it is not in the control of any of the industry. Like natural forces, recently what happened in Sri Lanka, right? Tsunami, right? Natural forces, it impacted, right, many of the countries. So natural forces impacts the services industry. Then the technological factors which are not in the control of any of the organization and it impacts the marketing environment, right? As the technology changes, so people might like to avail a new technology product or these services, right? So technology factor plays a very important role. If you see AC services, that the best example of this technology factor is, right? Once upon a time or few years, not once upon a time, say few years back, that how the way you get services for your ACs before the beginning of summer is totally changed the technology, now the technology has changed, and now it becomes easier even for the service provider to service the AC or to provide these services. It takes lesser time, so it impacts the marketing environment. Then the demographic factor plays a very important role in marketing environment, right? Demographic factors includes factors like age, right, or region, religion, right, income, right. All these factors plays a very important role in marketing environment, right, demographic factors. So in short, internal environment, internal marketing environment is that environment which is inside the organization and it is in control of the organization. Organization can change and control the environment. External factor are those factors which are not in the control of the organization, but it impacts the organization, right. There are 10 trends in the service sectors in 21st century. First is personalization. What is personalization means? Personalization means what? Personalization means you are getting these services as per your needs. That is the personalization, and it has impacted the service industry in a great way, right. What is personalization? Personalization, suppose if you want a mug with your printed name, you will get that. If you want something different on your chair, yeah, or if you want you can ask for certain type of a dress as per your choice. You can choose your cloth, you can choose your color, and you can give them the to this specific company, a well brand, you can tell them their choice and they will get it, they will provide the dress to you, right. That is personalization, plays a very important role. As per my requirement, I should get these services. Understanding of customer expectations, it is very important to be in market, that one should understand the requirement of the customer, so that as per the requirement you should offer the product or the services. Service is again a product, right. So understanding the customer expectation is again plays a very important role. Credibility, right, in services marketing, credibility is very important, right. Credibility of the service provider plays a very important role, right, because services are intangible, right. It is intangible, you cannot touch it, you cannot own it, right. Then again, on what basis you can trust, right. So it is important to have a trust or a good relationship between the customer and the service provider, and it depends on the credibility of the service provider. If the credibility of the service provider is good in the market, then again it impacts the product or the services, right. So credibility is very important. Simplification, right, simplification, provide these services in a simple manner. It should not be like that becomes difficult for a customer to understand the things. So it should be simplified. Internalization, right, so it should be a part, internalizer should be a part, right. Bundling these services, right, many type of services should be bundled together, right, so that you can provide them the services. Bundling of services is required at particular time, right. Then the rationing and the virtual experiences and the market space and multi-dimensional competitions are all these factors, right, are the trends in 21st century. Bundling, now service providers are bundling many services together and they are providing a package of services, right. Then virtual experiences, like virtual experiences is again a game, right. If you want a haircut, before getting the haircut done, you can have a virtual experience, which type of haircut will suit on your face, or which type of a specs will or a frame will suit on your face, right. You can virtual experiences, then it plays a very important role. Market space, right? Market space is again plays a very important role, right? To which market you are catering, and multidimensional competition is again impacting or the services marketing. Okay. Market segmentation. We all know what the market segmentation. What is segmentation? Segmentation is dividing the heterogeneous market into homogeneous market. That is segmentation, right? Market is heterogeneous. Everyone has a different taste, different needs, different opinion. But then again, it is not possible for any of the service provider to cater the needs of all, right? So it is important to divide that heterogeneous market into smaller homogeneous markets, right? Or homogeneous group. People who have similar type of needs and the wants can be placed in one group, and people with another type of a group but they are similar to each other can be placed in another group. So that is dividing the heterogeneous market into homogeneous groups, or heterogeneous group into homogeneous group is known as the segmentation, right? So a market segmentation is what? Is the process of dividing the entire market into different customer segment, right? So I hope you understood what is the segmentation: dividing the heterogeneous groups into homogeneous group, or dividing the entire market into different customer segment homogeneous group, that is known as market segmentation. Targeting or target marketing then entails deciding which potential customer segment the company will focus on. STP, that is, first is segmentation. Segmentation is dividing the market, heterogeneous market, into smaller homogeneous markets. That is segmentation, right? Segmentation, after dividing the market into smaller group, one should target the groups. Targeting the groups or targeting means, or targeting the marketing means, that is the selecting the potential customer the company will focus on, or selecting that group to which company wants to offers the services, right? Or the potential, targeting is selecting the potential customer to which the customer wants to cater, that is known as targeting, right? So market segmentation, you can do it on the basis of psychographic, behavior, demographic or geographic. There are many ways for the segmentation of the market, right? On the basis of geography, you can segment the market. On the basis of demography, you can, that is the same income group, that is the same age group, right? Or on the basis of gender, right? On the basis of behavior, you can divide the market, or on the basis of psychology, you can divide the market, right? So these are the types of marketing segmentation, right? So I hope segmentation and targeting is clear. Segmentation is first divide the big market into smaller group, that is the segmentation, and from those smaller groups, choose the groups which the company wants to or you wants to cater, that is known as targeting, right? The STB model can help one to analyze the product offering, the way you communicate its benefits and values to a specific group, right? So what is STP marketing and what is positioning? Positioning is creating a niche in the minds of the customer for your services or product, that is positioning. That is, how will you place your product in the mind, or product or services in the mind of your target customer, that is known as the positioning, right? So STP model is what? STP model is, that is dividing the market into smaller groups, and then from those smaller groups offer targeting, that is selecting the groups whom you want to cater or whom you want to offer the product, and positioning is the way to communicate the benefit of the product or services to the specific group is the positioning. That is, how will you communicate or how will you create a niche in the mind of the target customer is positioning, right? So STP stands for segment your market, target your best customer and position your offerings, right? There are various factors which affects the development of service marketing, right? Like the organizational size and the structure plays a very important role, right? That in services marketing, the organization size and the structure plays a very important role, because it creates actually why it plays a very important role, because it plays a very important role in credibility of the organization, what size of the organization is, right? Because services are intangible in nature, no one can possess anything. So when we are paying for something, what we want, right, whether that organization is credible or not. So organizational size and structure. Regulatory bodies plays a very important role, right? That they in case of say real estate, there are various regulatory bodies, right, which controls those constructors, right? So regulatory bodies plays a very important role in this service marketing. Like in restaurant, right, there are food regulatory bodies which do take care of that a good quality of food should be served to the customer, right? No expired product should be used in the industry. So this is the regulatory bodies plays a very important role, right? Growth in this service industry plays a very important role, right? That is the at what pace the service industry is growing, right? Customer employer interaction, that is the customer employer interaction plays a very important role, as the definition of this service marketing states that it is mandatory to maintain our relationship. Services marketing, the one of the main thing of services marketing is to maintain a relationship between the employer and the customer, right? The marketer and the customer. So this factor, this customer marketer interaction plays a very important role in development of service marketing. Then the service quality, what type of a quality, obviously what type of a quality you are offering to the customer plays a very important role. It impacts the service marketing, and the specific sectors plays a very important role, right? So there are certain myths related to these services, that is the low value misconception, low capital interest, small scale views, cannot provide wealth, cost. All these are the myths about these services, right? Now this service marketing triangle, there is a triangle of services marketing, that there are the three important stakeholders, right? In this triangle, the first stakeholder is the company or the management, another is the customer, and third one is the provider, right? So this is a triangle of service marketing and plays a very important role. That is, there is a relationship between the three, that this is a triangle, na, right? So company and a provider, there is a relationship between the company and the provider, right? That the company, that is the management, it is, and the relationship between the management and the provider is the internal marketing, right? That enabling the promises, right? What type of a product that the management wants to offer to the customer via providers, right? That is enabling the promises, what promises they are actually delivering, right? As what are the objectives of the companies, and the provider that has to deliver the promises, that the objective has to be delivered by the providers to the customer. The relationship between the provider and the customer is to deliver the promises. Interactive marketing, that you have to that the provider and the customer should interact with each other, and provider should deliver the promises. Between the company and the customer, again there is a relationship, that is the external marketing, making the promises, right? You are making the promises, that is through that is making a promises, that is when you are marketing your product, you are making the promises to the customer, and that your provider is delivering those promises to the customer. So this is service market triangle, and it plays a very important role. So in this triangle, I hope this is clear to you. There are three important stakeholders: the company or the management. Company sets the objective, right? The providers are actually the employees of the management or of the company. Providers are the employees of the company. That is that the company makes the promises, enables the promises, right, and set the objective, and the provider serves those promises or work towards achieving those promises by delivering the promises or through the interactive marketing with the customers. And there is a relationship between the customer and the management or the company, that the company, there is an external marketing. This type of marketing is known as the external marketing, that is making the company is making the promises to the customer. So company is interacting both with the providers and the customer. Company is making promises to the customer, and that company is making sure that those promises should be enabled, should be provided, right, and the providers through interactive marketing, right, delivering those promises to the customer, right. So this is clear. Service marketing triangle application, how you can apply this triangle. Focus on the service organization, right, who occupies each triangle, who occupies the position, right, on the focus, who occupies that position, and how is the each type of marketing being carried out currently, and are the three side of triangles are well aligned. So these things should be taken care of, right. There are three types of marketing: internal marketing, external marketing, and interactive marketing. That is internal marketing. Internal marketing is between the organization and the employees, right, between the management and the employees. That is the internal marketing, right. It provides services to the customer, that advocate trainings on the services to be delivered, that your employee should be well trained, right. Customer satisfaction service techniques should be there, involves with your employee, and performance reward system for the employees who deliver the highest level of customer services is internal marketing, that you are enabling the promises, right, that is in internal marketing. You are providing the training to your employees, you are rewarding them, you are involved with your employees, right, and you are training so that they can provide the services to the customer. This is interactive. External marketing between the company or the management and the customer, right, between the customer and the perspective, between the management and the prospective customer. That is, it is the traditional form of marketing, right, that is you are making promises through advertisements or through other ways, right, that you are conveying the message how your product or the services can provide benefit to the customer, right. It includes advertisements, website, traditional methods of marketing or the contemporary methods of marketing. You can use the mix of two or either one, right. Then third is interactive marketing. Interactive marketing between the employees and the customer, right, that is interactive marketing. The employees deliver the services of the company to the employees, to the customers, right, that, and the goal is the highly satisfied customers who become loyal and repeat customers, right. And the effectiveness of interactive marketing relates back to the internal marketing of the business. How trained your employees are, only that way they will deliver it to the customers, right. So the employees should keep the promises by external marketing efforts, right. Ways to use, we'll discuss about this in our next lecture. Till then, namaskar, thank you very much.
42 कितनी सिलाई?
सारा कितनी भी हो क्या फर्क पड़ता है?